Everybody, welcome to the Recoup. I'm Cooper Daniels, and I'm a guy that knows a little about a lot. And today, it's my weekly algo rant. Let's get into it. First off, how you doing? What's going on? It's all weird. I don't care. Let's move on to the stats. AlgoRANT sitting at number 29 at 31.5 cents on CoinMarketCap. I feel like I've said that exact same thing a few weeks in a row. We're staying steady, folks. All right? If you listen to Plan B, this has all been a very similar before that pump to 69,000. If you listen to, I think it was JP Morgan, this kind of lack of volatility in Bitcoin is saying that it's going to go down because the volume is down. So the concerns about volume are saying this is going way down, baby. But then Plan B sees something very different. And I don't know, folks. Who knows? But AlgoRANT staying strong in a battle with Quant, number 29, 30, 29, 30, 29. Quant has got a lot of, energy right now. It's been pumping. I wouldn't buy it at this point, but maybe you should. I mean, they seem to be I have a very superficial knowledge of Quant, but I know that the founder, CEO guy is very connected. It's an old interoperability project from like 2018. He, like I said, connected on panels with the central banks of Italy and, very connected in the EU and the Rockefellers. It's an issue. I know centralization is an issue. That is something that is thrown at them a lot. I do believe that they're closed source, not open source. So I'm getting the impression that Quant is going to be a solution for a lot of these CBDCs. All right. Now, that said, AlgoRANT, I just read a paper from the Central Bank of Italy yesterday where they discuss AlgoRANT in depth. And it's actually, they have a wonderful translation. If you'd like to check it out, Google it, Central Bank of Italy, and then click on the English version, and it's very well translated. The section where they break down what is AlgoRANT is actually super clear and is helpful. So you should check that out. I'm actually, I didn't read the paper too closely. I'm the guy that knows a little about a lot. It's a little heavy, it's a little dense, I'd say, for me. But in the end, I didn't get the impression that AlgoRANT is going to be the base layer for a Italian CBDC. I didn't get that impression. It could very well be something more like Quant that they're going to use. And that is fine with me. I know a lot of people, I don't know. I don't really, look, a long time ago, over a year ago, as a guy that was talking about AlgoRANT, there was not a lot going on. There was no DeFi. There was none of these massive government adoption things. There was no FIFA. There was there was a very, very, very small NFT community. And CBDCs were the kind of word of the day because of MIT, Sylvia Macaulay, the tech being secure enough. There might be a lack of flexibility with Teal, but it emphasizes security, right? So we talked about CBDCs like, is Argentina going to do it? Is Brazil going to do it? Where is the next CBDC? And is it going to be AlgoRANT? I don't care anymore. And it's not that I don't think it's inevitable that CBDCs are coming. They're gonna come. And it's not that I think that CBDCs are terrible in some ways, you know what I mean? Like, it will give access to unbanked people to have direct access to the central bank and not have to deal with these middlemen in the banks and, all the fees that come with that. And then, their programmable money can be interesting when it comes to welfare payments and all of that type of stimulus stuff. But it does also, I'm very sympathetic to the people that are like, yeah, you open up CBDCs, then you're opening up a world to social credit, tyranny, all of these things. And yes, look, CBDCs are coming. But once they come, I will be fighting very, very strongly if cash ever gets under assault. Because cash, physical cash, is going to be very important in a society that has CBDCs. Frankly, and I'm just kind of riffing here, but even private banks are going to be very, very important in a world with CBDCs. So there have to be more options. It would have to be in addition to it for me to stay sane. Okay. Anyways, my point is Quant, if you beat a lot of people to the CBDC game. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I mean, speaking of that though, right? I read about this today. ZTL or Zettlement. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but they are a European company based out of Copenhagen. They are the first team, the first company to get a EU authority payments institution license to use blockchain technology as payment rails. Guess which blockchain they're using? AlgoRANT. AlgoRANT, people. It's fully compliant. It's a fully compliant way for businesses and whoever else to move euros peer-to-peer. Compliant smart contract software in the EU. First time that's ever happened, they chose AlgoRANT. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got other things like that, folks. I mean, you also have, I was reading about AID Tech, and it's in the Philippines, and that's a digital identity and payment system. It's regulated by the Philippine Central Bank. It's got on-ramps and off-ramps for ALGO and USDC. You can do things like mobile top-ups or have a digital identity that you control. And they're using AlgoRANT. It's happening, folks. So you can talk all you want about how connected the guy at Quant is, but AlgoRANT just keeps delivering. All right. I will say that in that central bank paper, they talk about a section where they try very, very hard to crack the AlgoRANT smart contracts. They could not. All the tampering that those dudes tried on those AlgoRANT smart contracts failed, folks. The most secure, the most decentralized, and the most scalable layer 1 blockchain out there. AlgoRANT will win the general layer 1 blockchain. It will defeat ETH eventually. It will be that general layer 1 blockchain that a lot of these things are built on. And then we'll have a bunch of app chains. And we'll have Bitcoin. And we'll probably have Ethereum. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, folks. We're doing well. Okay, and then obviously there is huge news today. Milkomeda, is that how you say it? Milkomeda? I mean, they say, I looked it up. I tried to see what other guys on YouTube and how they pronounce it, and I heard a whole bunch of stuff. Milkomeda? I mean, folks, don't know how to say it, but I'm going Milkomeda. I like Milkomeda the best. I hope you guys can coalesce behind me for that. Milkomeda, a A1 rollup layer 2 built on the Algorand blockchain, went live today, folks. Do you understand what that is? That is a layer 2 that is EVM, an EVM layer 2 where all of those Solidity devs can now bring their projects or build projects using EVM on the Algorand blockchain. One of the cooler things about them is that they don't have a native token, so it's going to be algo that is used for gas and all of that. All the fees will be paid in algo, and all of this will be counted towards that wonderful TVL. So welcome, Milkomeda. I think I'm talking to them next week. We're gonna have a great conversation about all of this. Went live immediately upon launch was Blueshift. Blueshift is a cross-chain DEX connecting Algorand and Cardano. You can now swap your algo if you want for things like AVAX and ETH and Matic and BNB using the seller network. So there is a couple of protocols already live on this rollup on Algorand using algo as fees, counting towards our TVL. It's something I'm going to be looking at closely, and I'm going to be talking to one of the founders next week about, I believe. Oh, and I obviously need to talk about this. So governance signups for Algorand close in 2 days, less than 2 days. By the time you watch this, far less than 2 days. I believe it is noon Eastern time on Friday that you need to sign up by, but please double check that. I'm going to make sure that I'm all set by Thursday night. I don't want to mess around. I don't want to have a problem in the morning, whatever. Thursday night, tomorrow night, I'm going to be fully set up, and I think you should be too. And there's some cool things that have happened. I think the delay, I think that the extension was to accommodate Humble Farms, which Sounds like where I would buy my strawberries, but the Humble farms on Humble are juicy, and I hate that word, and they're fantastic. They also use smart contracts, which needed to give Algorand some more time to figure out how they were going to be able to do this, because they needed to see them in the wallet, yada 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 yada. They fixed it. Shout out to the foundation and to Humble for making that happen. You can now use Humble farms and commit them to the Algorand Governance at the foundation page. Another cool bit of news about governance that you may be interested in is that you can now use your Pact LP and your Tiny Man LP. You can commit that to governance, and then you can also, the LP that you've committed to governance, you can also deposit it on folks' finance and use it as collateral. So there is many different ways that you can work this, folks. There's a lot of cool stuff to do. All right. So make sure you're a governor, and make sure you look in here and see what your options are. You can be on Pact. You can be on Tiny Man. You can commit those LP to governance, and then you can deposit that same LP onto folks' finance, and then you can use that as collateral and take out loans, and then continue your crazy web of DeFi strategy where you're getting lots of yield and you're earning in a bear market rather than just watching your value plummet. You heard? Oh, another bit of news. The bank token from AlgoFi went live, right? Bank token, it's a governance token. A lot of people got airdropped for, you got rewarded for your activity on the platform for the past almost a year, I guess. I was airdropped some bank token. I'm stoked about it. And yeah, I mean, look, you can lock up your, I'm not an expert on bank right now, but what I can say about it is that you can lock up your bank for an extended amount of time, and you can vote in AlgoFi governance. And quite literally, if you lock up your bank and you treat AlgoFi as your bank, you get boosted APY, because I think the only two things right now that are getting boosted APY for locking up your bank are USDC staking and USDT staking. So if you literally hold your dollars on AlgoFi and you lock up your bank and use AlgoFi as your bank, then you can earn a boosted APY. There's some math that you need to be careful about. I'm not, 100% sure, but it seems like the percentage of the USDC or USDT that you own of the total staked should be around the same percentage of the bank token that you have locked up of the total stake. There's some smart guy math there for you to parse through. I'm not gonna do that. And it seems like if you're interested in voting on the future of AlgoFi, then and you hold USDC, your reserves on AlgoFi, it makes a lot of sense to lock up your bank and and do that, right? Lock it up. All right, folks. AlgoFi. AlgoFi also has a stable coin. It is a over-collateralized stable coin called Stable2. Simple, just a stable coin with a lot of collateral. Works great. It's a lot like Guard. Guard also has a stable coin called Guard. It's an over-collateralized stable coin. That's it. Just those few words. Over-collateralized stable coin. You know what I mean? So there's some cool stable coins. USDC, we all know about USDC. A being supported on the FTX exchange. So that is some cool on-ramp, off-ramps happening there. Lots. Only a few people understand what I'm doing or what that meant. Oh, folks, okay. Hey, have you missed my interviews? Do you miss me? Tomorrow, Thursday, I'm gonna have my interview with Adi Mishra, who's the founder, CEO of Zone and Meta Boundless. And he is joined by Micah Adams, who is the growth guy at the Algorand Foundation. And folks, did you know this? I don't know if he wants me to tell you this, but he didn't tell me not to tell you this. Did you know that Micah played football? This is British man, this British guy that was on did you know he played football at LSU and he's friends with Odell Beckham Jr.? Micah, if you're watching this, will you please send me this picture of you and Odell? All right. Maybe I'll ask him to send that to me right now so I can put that picture right here of Micah Adams and Odell Beckham Jr. He played at LSU as a cornerback. So yeah, isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? And I also think that he's a R&B singer from Latin America. Folks, Micah, what's going on, baby? And on Friday, I talked to my best friend in the whole wide world. I mean, I love the guy, genuinely love the guy. Great mind, wonderful contributor to Algorand, the founder of Reach. And I talked to Chris Swenner. We have a very long conversation where he forces me to talk about Humble and I force him to talk about everything else like DFly, AlgoFi, Yieldly. We wade into some waters, folks. So if you ever wanted to see me and Chris talk about everything, that's your show. That will happen on Friday. Now, speaking of Zone and Meta Boundless, they have a concert coming up. And by the way, they have asked if they could sponsor this episode of the AlgoRANT, and I said yes. I have their interview coming out tomorrow. So this episode of the AlgoRANT is brought to you by Zone and Meta Boundless. Meta Boundless has their first metaverse virtual concert happening tomorrow at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern is when it starts. It is starring some of the largest celebrities in the Arab world. Pretty incredible. Every time that I talk to people, by the way, when I talk about the metaverse and they don't know anything about it, and I start talking about the potential use cases of the metaverse, really the only thing that people latch onto and be like, oh, you know what? I actually would go to that is concerts. So that is the perfect place to start. And the guys behind Zone and Meta Boundless are bringing that. There's a partnership between Zone and Meta Boundless, and they're doing exciting things, folks. They have a big announcement coming. I hope it's all finalized by the time I put out this interview so I can keep it in. You might be able to find out in our interview. But there's a big announcement happening. And Zone, look, folks, Zone just launched 5 months ago, and it's been a process, but are you kidding me? All of these hyper casual games are adding ones all the time, like Knife Dart and Zombies Are Coming and Flappy Super Kitty. There are these game farms, which a lot of them are free. They have partnerships with Folks Finance and Algo Stake. You can play some of these game farms with like 1G Algo or an Algo or the stake or whatever, right? Or they're just free. They've integrated, they have NFT partners now. They've integrated with Gecko Fam and Knitheads. I mean, look, they're growing and it's happening. They have the rights to bowling. And in our conversation, we talk about some of the exciting plans behind that. So anyways, look, I'm rooting for Zone. I've been rooting for Zone. Maybe I've called out some things in the past, but look, they are moving forward. They're a serious team. They are a huge team in the Middle East, in India, in Singapore. But these are massive growth opportunities for Algorand. And Algorand has their hands in all of this. And Zone and Meta Boundless are going to be right there in the center, creating incredible content, building out this like concert venue metaverse. And it's huge. It's huge and it's to be supported. I ask a lot of questions tomorrow. Check out the interview. I'll put it out early on Thursday. Look, folks, it's a bear market, right? And we all got shit going on. We all got stuff going on. And, I have my own things. I've been struggling a little bit lately, not because of crypto, but just, you can turn this off. If you've got what you need from the show, might just get just a little bit personal that you may not be interested in. So hey, if you're done and you don't really care about what I'm about to say, I want to say thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. If you don't mind, like the video, subscribe, do all the things. Follow me on Twitter at COOP_Daniels. But for those of you that are like, oh, what the hell was he going to talk about? Okay, so look, guys. Leading up to COVID, I stopped drinking, right? And then COVID hit and I started drinking again. And then I stopped drinking again and built the Recoop. And I had a good run of about a year of doing the Recoop and staying focused. Now, I'm not an alcoholic in the sense where it's a mess, right? I can function, I'm all good, it's all good, right? But it does get a little messy and I lose focus. So I just want to say, recently I've stopped drinking. I've maybe been a little argumentative and I have certainly been argumentative at home. So if anybody out there has felt like I've been like lashing out in some way, I just want to say I'm on your side. I'm working through some things. You guys are going to see a bigger, better COOP. Recoop is going to get back on track in a new way. I'm not saying I've been doing a bad job. I'm not saying that I'm going to be perfect. All I'm saying is that, look, folks, we all are going through things, and sometimes the guy with the energy and the smile is struggling, folks. You know what I mean? All right, everybody. Hey, thank you for watching. And if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and yeah, there you go. Do your homework.